Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time here, hi, my name is Dana. I upload a new video every single Sunday, and whenever I have time, I like to add in an extra or two during the week. So now is a great time to subscribe to my channel, if you haven't already, to stay on top of all of my new videos. I'm back with a third Starbucks copycat kind of video. We're in a weird time in our world where we really shouldn't be going out to Starbucks. Whether or not it's still open where you live, we should really take a pause from that for now. But that doesn't mean we can't enjoy the drinks we love, because I'm gonna show you guys fun ways to make them in your own home. So today we're going to do our very best to recreate a cinnamon dolce latte. This is actually my parents' favorite Starbucks drink. They love the cinnamon dolce. They do theirs without whipped cream, but for me, that's unimaginable. I need the whipped cream. That's the best part in my opinion. So another thing to note is in these videos, I'm gonna be making these drinks without the use of Starbucks branded syrups and things, because realistically, most people don't have those in their house. If you do, it's even easier to recreate these, but I'm just going by what I happen to have, trying to avoid grocery stores, trying to avoid leaving our houses at all right now. So in the spirit of social distancing, I'm not using anything that I would think you'd have to go out and get. I'm just trying to use things that we have on hand at home. The first thing you need is some coffee. If you have the means to make espresso, that is the best way to go because that's what they use at Starbucks. But some of us don't have espresso machines. Some of us have really small kitchens and not enough space for an espresso machine. But what I do have is a mocha pot, which is an Italian stovetop coffee maker. It works pretty similar to espresso. It makes the coffee kind of similar to that. So it shouldn't be too far off. And if you have the option of using a darker roast, you definitely want to do that as well. But if you don't have a mocha pot, you don't have an espresso maker, it's totally okay to use your Keurig or use a French press or your regular coffee maker. What you want to do though is try to make as concentrated bit of coffee as possible. So a little water, a lot of grounds is sort of what we're looking for. But we only need a teeny tiny bit. This is the amount I'm going to be using in our cinnamon dolce latte. It's just this little shot glass full of concentrated coffee. Starbucks lattes and lattes in general are more milk than anything else, and they actually don't have a lot of coffee or caffeine in them, just a little tiny bit. And then since this is a cinnamon dolce latte and we don't have a cinnamon dolce syrup, we're going to need cinnamon. If you have cinnamon sugar in your house, you could definitely use that. I personally don't, so I'm gonna be using this regular cinnamon plus something to make it sweet. I have found that in drinks, I think stevia tastes sweeter than sugar, and plus I like that there aren't calories in it, because I'm trying to be healthy during this quarantine. So in our drink, I'm going to be using these two things to recreate our syrup, but there's also a cinnamon dolce topping that's gonna go on top. So for that, I do wanna use regular table sugar because it's a little bit less fine pieces, it's a little chunkier, and I think we'll get a better result for the topping because I love that cinnamon dolce topping on top of the whipped cream for that sort of texture more than the flavor. So I'm gonna be using regular sugar and we'll combine that with the cinnamon, and I think we can come up with something really good. We're gonna need some kind of milk. In our house, we drink all non-dairy milk. So right now I have vanilla unsweetened almond milk, and I'm gonna be using that. And then of course we have to have the whipped cream. Like I said, for me, it's unimaginable to think of a cinnamon dolce latte without the whipped cream. So gotta have that. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do, let's go backwards and start with the topping. So I have this regular sugar, and I'm gonna put cinnamon and sugar together and sort of try to kind of mash it together and see if I can get it cinnamon sugar-y. But again, if you have just regular cinnamon sugar in your house, feel free to use that. But I'm just gonna use a little bit of sugar here. And then I'm gonna take a pinch of cinnamon. Oh, I probably did a little too much, but that's okay. And then I'm just gonna like mix it with a spoon at first and kind of try to like mash them together. But I'm just kind of mixing it right up like that. And I really want them to like combine. Like I don't want it to be like cinnamon and sugar. I really want like to get the cinnamon like on the sugar, if that makes sense. Like the flavor of the cinnamon like on those sugar crystals. This actually looks pretty legit, right? It looks pretty combined. I think that looks really good. And then we'll sprinkle this over the top. But first we want to recreate that cinnamon syrup sort of thing. So I'm going to be very generous with our cinnamon because those syrups have really intense flavors. So I'm putting a lot. So here is, oh, I can see it like wafting through the air. I'm like breathing in cinnamon. It smells good though. So a generous amount of cinnamon in the bottom of our cup. And I'm using kind of a small cup because I just like smaller drinks. Like unless it's tea, I like get sick of it after a while. So I'm gonna do right like that. And then let's put 2 stevias. Of course, use what you have on hand if you have sugar only, or if you use like Sweet and Low or something like that. Whatever you like works for now. But we'll just put those guys in. Give it a nice little mix. Yeah, I don't know why. For me, it's just like, it tastes sweeter when I use stevia than it does with sugar. And I want this to be really nice and sweet. So we want to heat up our milk. I already did that. I heated mine in my Nespresso frother. But if you don't have a frother, just do it on the stovetop, or you could even microwave your milk. I mean, you should still get a little bit of froth on top no matter how you heat it. So we have our milk warmed, and then I'm going to take that little bit of coffee first and I'm going to pour it right in. And now this is where like I really, since we're using powdered cinnamon, I really want to mix it good. It's very hard to combine cinnamon, so I want to do it now while we just have our coffee before we add our milk. So I want to mix it like really, really good so we don't have like a sandy latte. You know what I mean? Like that like gritty texture. We definitely want that taken out. It smells so good. Oh my God. Okay, and I think that is pretty good. So this is our coffee part of the latte, just a little tiny bit. And now we're gonna add our hot steamed milk. And I like to add a little at a time when I make drinks at home because I want to make sure it's combined really nice. So I'm just gonna do like a little bit and then I'm gonna give it an extra stir to make sure all that cinnamon is incorporated. It smells really good. It smells really cinnamony. All right, and then let's top it off. Ta-da! So here is our base of our latte. We're going to top it with our whipped cream. So if you want to do whipped cream like they do at Starbucks, you want to start from the middle and swirl out and then swirl back in and kind of like lift at the end. So we're going to do a generous amount of whipped cream because that's what they do at Starbucks, especially because we don't have to put a to-go lid on this. So we're going to go all out. We're going to make it fancy. We're going to make it pretty enough to put on Instagram. So this whipped cream definitely won't be as good or as decadent or as easy to work with as the ones at Starbucks are, but we're gonna do our very best. So let's start in the middle. And we'll go kind of slow and work our way around and out, all the way around the outside of the cup, and then back towards the center, and ta-da! Beautiful. All right, now let's sprinkle our topping on. I'm gonna take a spoon and kind of sprinkle it right like this, and just nice little dusting of cinnamon sugar. Wow, that's beautiful. And the best thing about making drinks at home, aside from it being cheaper and healthier than going to Starbucks, and also like not putting people at risk while this virus is going around, is that you can put however much of anything you want. So if you want like extra topping, or if you want like less topping, or you want like extra whip or like no whip, like everything is completely up to you. And I think that's so fun. Of course, they'll accommodate anything you ask for at Starbucks, but I just really love the feeling of like making something at home. I think it's so fun. But here is our beautiful finished product of our cinnamon dolce latte. Take a look at that. Look how pretty it is with that whipped cream. The whipped cream really makes it just like Instagram worthy. But the real test is, how does it taste? We got our whipped cream melting because I put so much and the drink is hot. So I'm gonna scoop some of that. The taste of cinnamon reminds me of when my mom and my grandma used to make rice pudding. Has anyone ever had rice pudding? Oh my God. With cinnamon on top. Oh, it was so good. Maybe I'll make some of that while we are quarantined. But let's sip it and see how it tastes. It's really good. I think I'd have to say though, every drink I've made here at home, like Starbucks copycat wise, has been less sweet than the Starbucks version. Even when I feel like I'm adding a crazy, obscene amount of sugar, it still is always so much less sweet than when I've had it at Starbucks. So I think that's actually good though, because it just means like it's healthier. And plus, like, I don't need things to be that sweet. Like, for me, my favorite thing to drink is like savory teas. Like, I love like green teas with ginger and green teas with popped rice. Like, that's my kind of vibe. So I can do without coffee drinks pretty much always. Like, I'm not like that dead set on having coffee ever. I don't really need it that sweet, and it's customizable at home. So if you want it more sweet, you saw I added 2 packets of stevia. So maybe if you're using like packets, maybe add 3 or 4 if you want extra sweet like Starbucks. But I think this is pretty good. For not having any of the stuff at home that they have at Starbucks, I would say this is pretty close. And I mean, personally, I think even better because it's so like cinnamony and delicious. It's almost like the taste of a churro. Whereas like the syrup has like an artificial sort of cinnamon taste to me. I don't know. I guess if you try this at home, let me know what you think. But I think you don't have to go to Starbucks to have an awesome drink, because you can make it with all of the things that you have in the comfort of your own home, and it'll be just as good or maybe even better. And you can kind of play with it and experiment with it. And what better time to like learn how to make coffee drinks than right now when we are all inside. So if you do end up making this or any of the like copycat recipes I posted, or even like your own kind of like Starbucks copycat or any fun coffee drink, if you end up posting a picture on Instagram, definitely tag me because I want to see. But I hope you guys enjoyed learning how to make a Starbucks copycat cinnamon dolce latte at home. I hope you're all staying safe and healthy. I hope you're having a beautiful day, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.